Welcome to the deep dive. Now, if you're looking to give your social media profiles a bit of a boost, maybe attract more eyes in the crypto world, you might want to check out rapidboost.net. Today, we're really diving into something I know a lot of you building in Web3 are wrestling with. How do you get those first crucial clients for your crypto project? Especially when you don't have a massive advertising budget to play with, right? You've probably got an amazing idea. Maybe it's a new DeFi thing, a cool NFT collection, a really smart dApp. But how do you cut through all the noise? How do you grab those initial users, those partners, maybe even investors when, every single dollar really counts? So, our mission today is to unpack some practical, actually proving strategies, things you can do to build real trust, grow a community in Web3, all in a lean budget. We're here to explore those tactics that actually work to get you noticed, get you traction without just throwing money at ads. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, it's really interesting how crypto often seems to value that organic growth, doesn't it? That authentic community building, much more than just paid ads, especially early on. What we've been looking at really highlights how those first few supporters, they can become your biggest advocates. They drive those network effects that are so vital.
Absolutely. It's not just about launching something, it's about connecting, but connecting with the right people strategically. And the material we looked at, it really breaks down where these ideal crypto folks tend to hang out online. Places like Telegram, Discord for the fast chats, Twitter for updates and, well, showing thought leadership, Reddit for those deeper community dives, even specialized forums. Like if you're doing NFT stuff, your people are probably deep in certain Discords, maybe joining Twitter spaces about digital art. DeFi fans, often digging through Udify or having intense debates on crypto Twitter. And developers, you'll likely find them on GitHub or in very specific Telegram groups collaborating. The main takeaway isn't be everywhere. It's pick one or two channels where you can really show up consistently and crucially provide value.
That really brings up a key question for anyone listening, right? Have you actually figured out exactly where your ideal users are active? It's not enough to just, spin up a Discord and hope people find it. That's not really a strategy. You need to get in those existing communities, understand what they need, what their pain points are. Then think about building your own space. And like the sources say, those first interactions, they have to be about giving value, not selling.
Spot on. Forget the immediate pitch. Everything we've seen points to building up goodwill before you even think about promoting yourself directly. Think about jumping into those Telegram chats and actually answering questions, sharing real insights on Twitter about what's happening in the industry, or offering useful freebies, maybe some actionable tips. If you're building for developers, maybe host an AMA and ask me anything. Or share some genuinely helpful code snippets. That builds respect, establishes you as someone who knows their stuff and is willing to help.
Yeah, and the Spruce case study, the decentralized identity platform, that's a perfect example. They didn't pour money into ads. They just consistently hosted weekly office hours on Discord and Twitter, and their whole angle was just service, answering security questions, helping devs get onboarded. Pure value, the result. In about 4 months, they landed collaborations with major wallet providers, all through genuine engagement. Zero ad spend.
That's such a great illustration of playing the long game. And it highlights something else too, recognizing and actively empowering those first people who get what you're doing. The stuff we review really stresses featuring their positive feedback, as testimonials, amplifying their support with retweets, even giving them special roles in your Discord or whatever. It makes them feel valued, right? And I'm much more likely to become real advocates.
Definitely. So moving on from that community foundation, the sources then really dig into content marketing, which is just huge for building technical credibility and explaining what makes your project different, especially in crypto where people can be, well, pretty critical. Good content lets you connect with that tech-savvy audience properly.
Yeah, forget the buzzwords and the marketing fluff. The insights here focus on being transparent, really in-depth updates, things like developer diaries showing the real process, clear breakdowns of your white paper, not just surface level stuff, even sharing your audit results openly, what you found, what you fixed. That kind of transparency shows you're serious, technically sound. It attracts a smarter audience.
Absolutely. Look at Chainlink's early blog posts. It's a classic example.
Yeah.
They went deep, explaining their Oracle tech really carefully. And guess who noticed? Other projects that desperately needed secure price feeds. It wasn't flashy ads. It was demonstrating deep expertise, giving real info to the right people.
And it's not just about your channels either. The material also talks about guest posts and working with micro-influencers, people who write those niche crypto newsletters or YouTube reviewers with a specific audience, bloggers focused on your area. If you give them maybe some exclusive access or early info on audits, you can tap into their audience, their credibility. It's often way more effective and cheaper than traditional ads.
Precisely. Those collabs often feel more authentic. They can hit harder than just a banner ad somewhere. And once you've put the work into that great long-form content, the sources are really clear. Repurpose it. Maximize its reach.
This is where you get efficient. Take a deep blog post, turn it into a snappy Twitter thread, make a short video explaining the main points, design an infographic with the key data. There are tools out there like Notion, Canva, even Riverside.fm for video stuff that make this way easier. Get more mileage out of your efforts.
Okay, so the next big area the sources cover is leveraging strategic partnerships and ecosystem integrations. This really drives home the point that early wins in crypto often come from relationships, not just, broad marketing blasts. It's about finding other projects or tools or maybe DAOs that fit with what you're doing, and then tailoring your approach to solve their users' problems. That's key.
Yeah, finding that win-win. The examples given are pretty helpful. Like a new cross-chain wallet could team up with DeFi apps, right? Make it super easy for users to move between chains. Or an NFT marketplace connecting with 3D artists to get cooler stuff on their platform. But the crucial thing is, you can't just ask for exposure. You need to offer real value in the integration.
Exactly. What can you bring to them?
Yeah.
It's dedicated tech support to make integration easy, maybe early access for the users. Or maybe you do some co-marketing together. You need to be ready, though. Have good documentation, clear tutorials, solid APIs. Make it easy for them to say yes.
Well, look at the graph. That's a great case study they mentioned. They went out and helped smaller dApps on Ethereum integrate their subgraph tech for free initially. And then they featured those dApps. So they got early users and turned those devs into huge fans who talked them up later. It was smart, providing value up front.
And definitely don't forget to shout about these partnerships. The insights really push this. Announce them everywhere, newsletters, social media. Tag your partners. Turn those integration stories into little mini case studies almost. It builds momentum and shows others you're actively building and collaborating.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit to something that's just vital, especially in crypto where, let's face it, people can be skeptical. Social proof, showing that other people trust you, are using your thing. It's essential to get folks over that initial hesitation with new projects.
For sure. And the sources point out some really smart, low-cost ways to build this up, even if you don't have tons of users yet. Pilot programs are great. Getting feedback from alpha or beta testers is invaluable. But don't just collect feedback. Document the results. Show tangible improvements like before and after numbers. And get specific glowing quotes from those early users. Really highlight them.
Oh yeah, those specific quotes are gold. Way better than some generic testimonial. And sometimes it's as simple as displaying the logos of your first clients or partners on your site, assuming you have permission, obviously. Even just a few logos can seriously boost how credible your project looks.
And don't forget third-party validation. That carries a lot of weight. Things like positive security audits from respected firms, the number of stars on your GitHub repo, or even just getting mentioned by well-known people in the space or covered by niche crypto media. All those little signals add up to build trust.
Okay, so we've hit community, content, partnerships, social proof, all crucial foundations. Now let's get into some of those clever guerrilla marketing tactics the sources talk about, the kind of creative, low-cost stuff that can create some real early buzz.
Yeah, this is where you can get creative and really stand out, even on a tight budget. The material highlights things like community bounties and contests. Pretty effective. So maybe bug bounties get the community to help make your code stronger, fun meme contests to generate some viral content, or referral programs rewarding your early users for spreading the word. The rewards don't have to be huge, but they really get people involved, feeling some ownership,
Polygon's early days are a good example there, right? With their meme contests and hackathons, they got a lot of attention, pulled in new developers, got tons of social media mentions without breaking the bank on ads.
Another thing that often gets missed is actively trying to get featured in crypto news lists and those aggregator sites. Places like Product Hunt, CoinGecko, DapperDar, they're always looking for new projects. If you write a really polished, clear listing that explains your value prop, that can be a surprisingly good way to reach a very targeted audience.
And lastly, the sources mention the value of virtual events, not necessarily the huge, expensive conferences. Think smaller, more focused stuff. hosting your own mini roundtable, maybe an interactive workshop, or AMAs on Twitter Spaces or Discord. It lets you talk directly with potential clients and peers. Much more engaging sometimes.
So pulling all this together, what the sources really suggest is a practical set of actions. The main thing isn't to try doing everything at once. It's about focusing your energy smartly, especially at the start.
Exactly. Okay, so the action plan we've kind of distilled looks like this. 1, pick your 2 main online channels where your ideal people are and be there consistently engaging. 2, publish valuable content every week. A Twitter thread, a blog post, maybe a short video explainer. Keep it regular. 3, identify, say, 3 potential partners you could realistically work with. Reach out with a specific value proposition for them. 4, launch a small bounty campaign, something to get the community involved and talking. 5, collect any social proof, you get testimonials, logos, mentions, and showcase it clearly. And 6, always be listening to feedback, to the data, and adjust your strategy based on what's working. Iterate.
And the thread running through all of this, really, is the focus on building genuine relationships, building trust. These aren't overnight tricks. They're about sustainable, long-term ways to build a real community and generate lasting interest. It's an investment of your time and expertise, more than just your ad budget.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, the core message seems pretty clear. Getting those first clients in crypto without deep pockets for ads, it's definitely doable. Often it's actually better this way. It boils down to really focused community building, creating truly valuable content, smart partnerships, showcasing that social proof, and getting creative with lean marketing.
And just remember, every single major crypto project you know today, it started small. It started with a core group of dedicated believers. Your job right now is finding and nurturing those first believers, showing them the value you bring consistently.
So here's something to think about as we finish. What's the one single actionable step from everything we discussed today that you could actually implement, like right now? What could you do today to start building that foundation, attracting those crucial first believers? Because as we've seen, the biggest projects weren't built on ad campaigns alone. They were built on the backs of those initial dedicated supporters. Thanks for diving deep with us.